Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Gainy Titan. And I've two battles this time, both in the Jagdtiger 8.8cm. Bought that, I'm not sure, last summer? I think it was last summer. Late last summer. On a kind of a whim. I've always kind of wanted to have the Jagdtiger, and the other premium tank that I've always there's two more premium tanks that I kind of want to have, but I haven't bought. The other one's the Love and probably the Super Pershing. Whichever one's the Tech 3 Pershing. I don't want the ones with the patriotic paint jobs or funny paint jobs or anything like that. I just want the plain bog standard tank. I remember there was a time when it was super popular, and it seemed to be a really tough tank. Now it's probably, again, not aged very well, but this thing has aged quite nicely. Unlike, say, playing the AT-15 and the Tortoise, which is a bit like torture again. Now this is what, from a month or two ago. This thing is quite a nice tank to play, and I played it quite a bit. At that period of time when I played it, I might have actually shown a game or two of it besides these ones. But I had these games sort of sitting around, and I've been kind of meaning to show them for a while, and I thought now's as good a time as any. So we're coming up to the corner. Now it's tier 8, so it does really well at tier 8. Obviously, tier 9 and tier 10. You won't be getting a performance like this out of it. You'll have to stay a bit further back. You have to much more. You won't front line the corner against tier 9 and tier 10 tanks. You're better off finding a position a little bit further back and just bringing the gun to use. The armor won't hold up as well. The armor actually holds up really well here, but your a lot of the tanks, well, except for the T-28. A lot of the other things are firing it with basically medium tank guns. The Tiger essentially is a medium tank gun. The Object 416 is a medium tank, although I don't think he shoots at me much. It's the T-28, it's the dangerous beast. And I think the holes that have been put in me so far have been put by the T-28. However, we'll shoot anything that presents itself. There is a magnificent rate of fire on this thing, so as long as you can protect your lower front plate and you kind of keep wiggling the armor and stuff like that, you can do alright, especially like I said from your top tier. It depends again on what you're up against. There are some tanks that just won't care. And the sides are trash. If somebody tracks you and gets around you, you're in serious trouble. But it's far more nimble, say, than the AT series. It's far more nimble than the AT-15 or the Tortoise. It will swing around pretty niftily when it has to. So now there's a gun barrel on the way, and I've learned from experience that shooting through gun barrels can be very problematic. However, there's not many enemy left. I think it's just the T-28 prototype, and he's now gone. But looking at the minimap, there's a suspicious lack of friendly tanks down by our base. So I'm suggesting that we sort of regroup and head south again, and it's probably the best thing to do actually with the whole party, because we're outnumbered slightly. But there's a lot of tank destroyers. Man, there's a lot of tank destroyers in the enemy team. Now, there's a lot of tank destroyers in our team too, but most of them is dead. Scorpion G was inclined to rush off there, so I kind of requested that he slow down a little bit. Because there's no particular rush. The enemy tanks that we spotted were in the valley under the bridge coming from the Monastery Road. And it'll take him a while to get up and get into the cap circle. And we still have, whatever it is, a minute and a half. Well, if there was 3 of them in there, I suppose, 40 seconds or something like that. 30 seconds or so to reset the cap. And we're close enough. It's a small enough map. We can see it from here. So we got around into the chariot here. Have no choice but to expose bits of the side of the tank and then coming down. But I want to get into this position, or not this position, but the one in front of it, where I'm more or less hold down. I can protect my lower front plate, and I can shoot guys in the cap circle, or anywhere near the cap circle. It's a bit unfortunate when somebody else takes the shot that you weren't aiming for them, but it's funny at the same time. I didn't even know that Guardian STG was down there, but he drove in front of the shot that I was aiming for, the Charioteer or the Cruncher. I can't remember which one I was actually aiming for, and it killed him. So that's just as well. Now our vengeance is pushed down, and the Churchill, I think, is a heavy tank, is pushing down as well. The Churchill or Black Prince, I can't remember. But they're fairly low tier tanks, and there is just a man in the Huck Valley. Now I reckon the two tanks can deal with the Charioteer, although the Charioteer, if he's the top gun, as a tier 9 gun, and he will knock chunks, 7 shades of hell out of a tier 7 if they're tier 7 tanks. But I need to deal with the Cruncher, because he's got flanking fire on them, and he's got the rate of fire that will just annihilate them, really, if somebody isn't dealing with them. And I think that was the Churchill or whatever it was, and that was the other one, and they were both taken out by shots from the north. So there's something to the north out of view range of the Scorpion. Two things, actually. Both of them were pretty hard hitting guns. And of course the Cruncher's still alive, and we're outnumbered. We're not going to win this game, we're outnumbered. It's a relatively small map. So there is no, if everybody's coming in on us, that's including the 4 tank destroyers, there's no getting away from it. If it's just the mobile tanks, we might have a chance, because that would be 3 against 2, or 2 against 3. Unfortunately, the Scorpion G has chose to flee into a corner where I can't support him and he can't support me. Somebody fired from across the valley there again. That was an elevated shot. Tiger, that shot was a waste. Now, I make a lot of wasteful shots here that I'm going to regret. However, I also do a fair bit of damage in this point in time where I'm on my own. Put 2 shots into the Tiger. The Tiger is close to death. This guy is also killable. If that's all I had to worry about. If it was just the 2 of them, I could probably manage, but I know there is a 3rd guy out there to my right. At least, if not 2 of them. And the T-25 is coming around. We've put another round into him, and we've taken a round from across the valley as well, some from behind me, so I'm coming in under where the rocks were giving me. Now that's a shot I'm going to regret hitting, because I was aiming for my intended target was the roof, because you can put, the roof is actually quite soft on those things, like that. And you can put rounds through it quite easily, and if I'd put those 2 rounds through it, I would probably have killed the T-25-2 by now. So with the guy coming in behind me, I reckon that's the Cruncher, I think. The only tank I'm going to kill is the Tiger, and I'm going to kill the Tiger before I die. Nobody tracks me. Just allowed me to get away with this, really, because I finished up, actually set him on fire. I actually finished up with doing 1,000 points of damage there, while I was surrounded by the 3 tanks. Now, admittedly, the Tiger and the T-25-2 could not have tracked me easily, but the guy behind me had all the time in the world to track me. He could have just put shots into coming up beside me, and probably had the mobility to come up beside me and just put a round into my tracks, and that would have been pretty much it. Everybody else would be safe. So I did almost 4,000 damage, got a high caliber, 2nd class mastery, blocked almost as much damage again. And yes, considerably more damage than anybody else. So that's the kind of tank the Jagdtiger 8.8 can be when you are top tier and there's no artillery, obviously, or artillery isn't paying attention to you. On the other hand, well, actually, if anything, I suppose in some ways this might, in terms of performance, might even be a better match. This is Ghost Town. Not exactly the place you'd expect to get a good game in the Jagdtiger 8.8 centimeter, but you never know. Ghost Town Assault. Not that I think it makes much difference. I actually recently saw a game on Ghost Town on another YouTuber's channel for the PC. And the map is like 4 times bigger. It stretches way out into the countryside in all directions around Ghost Town. So Ghost Town's this piddly little town in the middle of this massive map. I know why we can't have maps like that on this, because of the Xbox 360. And the population is falling on the game. I mean, I've had several experiences in the last couple of weeks of midday 7v7 games, or even 5v5 games, or 12v12 games on Tier 5, because I've been grinding the T67 trying to get a third Mark of Excellence on it. And of course Wargaming have gone and screwed up the Marks of Excellence again. So without any game being played by me, the last update dropped my damage standing from 90 point something to 86 point something. Needless to say, Ungainly Titan was not a happy camper when it well. I mean, it happens. It's really annoying. I mean, I wasn't mad or anything like that, but it was really annoying because I'm pretty sure I can do it, but it's going to take me like hundreds of games. There is a player, I think he's still playing, but I think he's forum banned, who could 3-mark any tank in about 60 games. And he could do it while grinding. But I've never been anywhere close to that. I doubt if I could actually get 1 mark in 60 games. But I do know that if I keep playing a tank generally long enough, I've had the patience. There's a few tanks out that I don't like, and I don't have the patience to do it. But generally, if I keep playing, I can get 1 mark of excellence at this stage of my career, so to speak. But if I 2 marks, it's something that, well, probably a bit harder. And 3 marks is kind of quite rare. It's not, there's very few tanks. In fact, I think there's only 2 tanks so far that I have managed 3 marks on. That's the Hellcat and the T25 too. So I thought I'd get the set and go with the T67 because I like the T67, and I thought it was a tank. Actually, I thought it'd be relatively easy to do it, but it turns out to be not so the case. I also thought I'd be able to do it on the Comet. Now I might. I wouldn't rule it out yet, but again, it will not be. It would be a lot of games, hundreds of games, a big slaughter. The Motherland, bang, straight through. There's not many tanks that can put standard armor piercing through the front of the Motherland with that kind of casualness. But I like it, I suppose. I've bounced too many shots off the upper front plate of those things. Man, things are looking rather grim. So this ramrod is a bit of a comedic moment. Very rarely does the shot in the air thing work. I've seen it work a few times. I might even have gotten it to work once. No, I've tried it a lot more than that. Because sometimes, just for the sheer comedy of it, it's worth trying. But it's very rare that it actually pulls off. Ramrod's coming around for another one. And just as quick as that, the situation where we're kind of outnumbered 2-1 has resolved itself back down to even Steven. How fast fortune can turn, and how fickle favour is, I suppose. Anyway, Ramrod has decided not to come off the top of the thing again. Thought he might go for death from above. I don't think he has the hit points for it, but because both tanks lose hit points, and I've got more left. However, he's gone somewhere else, so I thought, well, okay, I'll go somewhere else as well. So off I go, and I see, there's artillery. Now, I don't see the artillery, but he's off there on his own, and I'm thinking, there's a remote chance that I can catch a Batchat 15551, or at least get into a position where I can get a shot off at it. It's not a very big map, doesn't have many places to go, whereas chasing a light tank around the map might not be much fun. Although this thing gets up, we're doing 35 kilometers an hour once we've had a bit of time to ourselves to get going. And there it is, it's around the corner. It was relocating, but then it does a bit of a driving moment. And we finish him off. That's it. 4 kills, 3,500 damage almost. So yeah, I mean, if you get the chance to keep this tank alive, the 3,000 damage is easily achievable, as long as you're in the right spot and you have targets to shoot at. And again, we earn a nice piece of silver. And yeah, I think it's a fun tank. I think it's still a fun tank, which is the more important bit. It was probably always an actual full tank. I think it used to be a lot slower. I think it got a speed buff in the last year and a half or something like that. I hope you liked this video. I hope you liked the 2 games in the 1 video format. I mean, it's not a terribly long video. It's only 15 minutes. I mean, a lot of the World of Tank games tend to be quite short. So I think there's a lot to be said for putting 2 games into the 1 video. You can let me know if you prefer it differently. 1 game, single game, double game, 3 games. Thank you for watching once again. As I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and a share. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.